Hey, it's Dr. Karen. Welcome to this week's Spiritual Medicine Digest. And this week's topic is deep dives. Before we begin on the deep dive into the deep dive, I would love for you to go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And in case you are new to my channel, you can actually even hit the notification bell. So every time I do a new video, you will be notified. So this week, the topic is on deep dives. And let me give you a perspective of what I mean by that. I'm kind of a big picture person. I mean, I can be good at details, but it takes me a wee bit more energy to be really good at that. But some people are really naturally good at details, not so much on the big picture. And vive la différence, like it's great that we're all different, right? So every day I have this book, and it's like lined, has lined pages. And every Sunday I take my ruler and I actually make all these columns. And then I put the date at the top, the day of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then the day of the month. And then on the very left-hand side column are the names of people, places, or things that I'm doing a daily mini healing for. So for example, when I'm doing TOLPAKAN Level 2 certification, for those 6 months that those practitioners are in my program, I'm actually giving them a little bit of TOLPAKAN healing, a mini healing, every single day, if they so desire. They can opt out if they want, of course. I do a mini healing on every member of my Academy of Light Medicine team. And sometimes family members of theirs give them permission if something's going on, right? There's also my family. There's also certain young people that that I love to support and that might be going through a hard time. And my VIP clients are on the list. Also are kind of like the bigger things, places. Sometimes I'll be called to do healings on countries, maybe water, maybe the Infiniverse, maybe all of humanity, maybe light being star seeds, right? So I have this huge list. I even include social media. So I have this huge list on 2 pieces of paper, and every day what I do is I connect to stillness through stoam, stillness through observing internal movement, my little method to connect to the 0 point field. And then I do some muscle testing. I call it divine muscle testing. And then I check in how many, that's the question I use, how many things are available for healing right now for each of those people, places, or things. And I'll usually get anywhere from 0 to 3 on average. And now these, of course, are people, places, and things that I normally work on daily. I do notice when there is a new person that is on there. For example, there was a friend of mine who was having some, symptoms, and it was very challenging. I asked her permission. I said, could I put you on my daily mini healing list? And she said, yes, absolutely, of course. So when she first came into the list, when I first did the how many question, there were like 15, not the usual 0 to 3. But as days went on, it went from 15 to 10 to 7 to 5 to 3 to 0 to 2 to 0 to 1 to, so it kind of hovers around that lower number. Now, how does deep dive or deep diving have to do with any of this? Well, I notice as my father was having some physical health challenges that I was only getting a couple of things to work on each day. So I thought, well, there was one day where he really was not doing well. Now, I didn't actually know how unwell he was that day, to be honest, the full extent of it, because I wasn't physically there. So I just felt, okay, well, let's do a little deep dive and just figure out what's going on. So I was asking the question more specifically, instead of how many things can I heal per day, I was asking more specifically, like, okay, why is he falling? So then I did my TOLPAKAN healing quality question. I said, is it, is it a physical reason, mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic, dimensional, for example? In this case, it was physical. I said, oh, okay, what system? So I went through all the systems, and it was the neurological system. And I said, what part of the neurological system? Here's where the deep diving is going. And it said the brain area. Okay, so I said, which part of the brain area? And because I'm a medical doctor, that's super handy. I don't have to look it up in a book, right? I can say, okay, was it the cerebellum? Because that helps with balance. Nope, wasn't that. Long story short, it was the motor cortex in the parietal area. And I said, okay, how happy is that? So I got a percentage, how happy is that? And here's the deep dive. I can even ask what percentage of the falling symptom is due to that part of the brain not being happy, not being healthy, connected, etc. That was a pretty high amount. Now, there are other things, immune system, other things going on. So I kind of did a deep dive. Now, when somebody's beginning divine muscle testing and TOLPAKAN healing method, it may not take you as short a time as me because it's new. So you're like, what question am I asking, right? But someone who's practiced like me, and of course the medical doctor part doesn't hurt, right? To have that knowledge of anatomy, physiology, that kind of thing. So I can go super, super deep if relevant into that piece. So, did a little bit here, did a little there, check the detox, check the immune system, right? But the big thing was that brain. So unbeknownst to me, as my siblings and I were talking about, my dad's impending transition, passing, that kind of thing, because he wasn't doing very well. The next day, I was waiting for the family to go visit and to talk to the doctors, see what our options are. The next day, my sister, she texts me, she goes, he's doing a lot better today. And from what they told me the day before, where he was literally not able to sit up, he was not eating, he was sitting up, he was eating like a lot, which is a good sign. And I was like, oh, I guess that deep dive does work. Now, not that I doubted that would work, but I hadn't felt called to do a deep dive in a while. Maybe that's just me being a manifesting generator in human design and responding. So sometimes if there is like an emergency, I'll be like, oh, let me respond, right? And it's like, and I'll go and respond. So I thought, okay, well, that seemed to have worked. So I went and did another deep dive last night. Realized some of the systems were definitely, off balance. Checked the Harvard line, checked, just in general, what's the score for physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic, dimensional bodies, right? Check specific systems, recheck the motor cortex, which was actually not bad. It did not go down a lot, so that was good. Checking in for infections, because the doctor said maybe he has an infection of some sort. And and did what I could. I could not get everything over 95%. I mean, there's a lot going on, and I can imagine if someone's on, 13 different medications, right, has been for a really long time, it might take a while, to let's say repair the body because it has all this potential interference, which we do our best to neutralize. And then got the text again today. It says he's doing even better. Like so much so that we were thinking dying palliative care, and then in 2 days, well, he doesn't actually qualify for palliative care because he's too good. I'm like, that's a good problem to have, right? So the point here is that I'm a big picture person, so I like to see the big picture, and that is super helpful in many ways because you can see patterns. When I see, this, and I put it all together, I'm like, oh, yeah, that is trying to manipulate this, and that's the result, right? And I can see these big pictures and patterns is really helpful. And not to be exclusive, big picture, we can also do deep dives when we feel we need to or want to or desire to. So I think doing and being able to do healing or paying attention to both is really important. And you may wonder, well, how come, Dr. Karen, you only got 1 or 2 or 3 things to heal for your dad, but then when you did the deep dive and did all this evaluation assessment, there was all these other things you could heal, like all these little things, right? All these details. And then he got remarkably, there we go, remarkably better. Well, what I'm thinking is happening, and please put in the comments what you think is happening. What I think is happening is when our consciousness is focused and paying attention, if you will, to a particular thing. So it's then we can have results more in that thing. So like it's hard to, I'm trying to find an analogy here. Okay, so say I am learning to spin in figure skating, right? And I'm watching the skater do it. I'm like, yep, okay. So I'm trying to emulate that, and I see, the whole choreography. It's beautiful. However, I can't quite proficiently do all of that just yet. Um, However, if I kind of chunk it down into just this one stroke, or this one turn and get really good at that, my focus and attention is really in this tiny space. And it's almost like the energy of the universe goes, oh, there's where the pinpoint is. Let's go there. So I believe in some way that our abilities to do grander, bigger, deeper healings will expand over time, and it has to do with our ability to focus, our ability to attend, if you will. Some people said, well, why can't I just, turn on my Ascension 1 and 2 music or do my Ascension 3 and just say, heal everything all at once and have it work all the time? I'm like, one day, right? I think the reason is because of attention. Our minds are so distractible and our minds can be all over the place. Can you imagine, just right now, just think about it. I would like you to focus on healing all the livers of all your thousands of timelines. Okay, so focus on all the livers right now. Can you see it in your mind? Maybe, maybe not. Right? So it's like, wow, that's really detailed. So if you can imagine millions, thousands, whatever of you, right? You can imagine all the livers, all the immune systems, which is like half of it's like so tiny it's invisible, right? So it's like it takes our human minds a little bit to wrap our, consciousness around this degree of focus. I believe one day that it will not require that kind of focus to do these grander, bigger healings. So I think that's why when I ask how many, it is on the bigger scale, big picture, and that's my intention is on big picture. And then when I do a deep dive, then I can really go into systems, subsystems. Is it emotional? Is it mental? Is it dimensional? That kind of thing. And I believe that when I do an evaluation with divine muscle testing, that requires attention. And the minute we put attention on a system, right, or an organ or an emotion or something like that, healing is already going there because our attention is there. And we have seen that with auto healing. If somebody goes into the stillness, and you just ask the question, how happy is X? Oftentimes the number will change second by second by second, go happy, happy, happier, 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 just as you ask the question. So keep that in mind in case you do divine muscle testing and might get a little confused, like, I thought this was worse, or, wow, this is really different, or, it could be because your attention is bringing energy. That saying, where attention goes, energy flows and results show. So the more detailed and deep dive your attention is, the deeper and more, let's just say, you know, um, focused your healing is. So let's do a TOLPAKAN Healing Activation for today to, let's say, activate or elevate, if you will, more comprehensive, a more evolved version of your claircognizance or clair knowing. There's many different names for this, but it's the just knowing the answer, knowing what is true. And sometimes people don't even know that they have this as their dominant clair. They think, oh, it's clairvoyance or it's clairaudience or, clairsentience, right? But we are getting more sophisticated in our clairs. And so claircognizance is just knowing. And sometimes you don't know why you just know. And that is really fun. So let's do that together. Let's get into stillness through observing internal movement. And how I like to teach it is just, move around, rub your hands, shake your body, stamp your feet, whatever you want to do, just to get energy moving so you can feel it in the body and then relax. close your eyes if it's safe for you to do so, and just start focusing on the body. Start feeling, noticing where you feel any energy, movement, tingles, waves, buzzing, anything at all in the body, and then follow the flow wherever it goes without trying to make it do anything. Just allow it to be there. You might notice it more in one part of the body than the other, and that's okay. And as you continue feeling the energy or movement in the body, I'm going to speak TOLPAKAN Healing Activations, that directive. Some people call them commands. I like to call them directives. And then see if you notice a shift in where your energy travels in the body. Here we go. I now command that all your clairs, and especially claircognizance, be evolved and optimized and in balance in the highest and best way, all directions of time and all timelines where you exist with ease, speed, and grace. I now command that anything preventing your clairs, clairvoyance, clairaudience, claircognizance, clairsentience, clairgustance, clairessence, and any other clair we don't know about, from balancing each other at all times, every time there is an expansion or ascension upgrade, all these things be healed permanently with ease, speed, and grace. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Last one. I now command that the automatic alignment activator that works 24/7, that automatically rebalances your clairs, and this and all the timelines, be downloaded and activated in you in the highest and best way, all directions of time, with speed, ease, and grace. Thank you. All right, if you have your eyes closed, you can go ahead and open them. Love for you to type below in the chat, did you notice anything shift in your body as you were listening to the activation? And you can say these activations for yourself. It's not specific to me. You're likely, I would say 99 point whatever percent chance that if you're watching this video, you're already activated in the TOLPAKAN healing frequencies. You know, I don't have to like sit there and attune you or anything like that. You already have them. So play with these directives. Think of positive things that you would like to happen in your life. And see, you know, if you tune into the body, see what happens for you. And let me know what your thoughts are on the whole deep dive thing and why you think perhaps why doing a deep dive gets sometimes more or quicker results than the big picture. A couple of announcements for today. There's just a couple of days left, I believe, for the Anxiety SOS program, and that is a program for sensitive souls to do a deep dive into the biological, spiritual, dimensional, and environmental reasons for having the anxiety symptom, and also providing you lots of different tools so you do not have to suffer at all with any of those symptoms. Can you imagine feeling calm at every turn? So valuable. Anyway, so that is open until December 31st, if you want to join that program. All right, so I'll put that link below. A couple other announcements on Light Warrior Radio. Woo, this is kind of a spicy topic. If you're into it, and Marcus, who is my mentor, activator, healer, coach, he's also a colleague. We have the series called The Dimensional Deep Dive, these segments on Light Warrior Radio. And this particular segment, we are talking about soul detachment. What's the difference between soul detachment and soul fragmentation? Inquiring minds want to know. If you are one of those inquiring minds, tune in. We are airing it Monday at 12 noon, brand new episode of the Dimensional Deep Dive, and we'll be talking about all sorts of things, including ghosts, dimensional geometry, why some people lately are getting this symptom of soul detachment, and a revitalization of this ancient energy of the soul called soul, SAWOL. That was news to me. So if you want to know more about that, the link below, and check that out on Monday at 12 noon Eastern. And then also, in case you have not already gotten your Infallible Pendulum by Peter Shank, Modern Day Mystic, there is a limited time for the 30% off for my tribe that Peter has generously gifted to us. And this is one of those You'll probably never, ever, ever need any other pendulum ever again because this one always works. So we're gonna put the link below as well as the 30% off discount coupon. And if you're watching this years later, I'm sorry if it's not there for you. However, Peter often has sales, so it's a good idea to get on his mailing list regardless. And I'd love to see you in the light medicine community on Circle. So if you're not already there, hey, join us, the light medicine community. Lots of free stuff, monthly mini healings. I can't wait to interact with you there. So thank you for joining me this week. Enjoy the rest of your 2024 and an early happy new year to you and yours. Until next time, lots of love. Bye for now.